Hello, welcome to Sunday Night's Hotline Live, brought to you by NordVPN. My name is Daniel Cott. I'm delighted again for the fourth show running to be joined by the one and only Keith Jackson and the one and only Scott McDermott. Guys, how's it going?
Make it make sense, Daniel. I don't know what I'm watching anymore.
We've also, just right on cue, Keith, we're joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Gannon, who's with us from Hampden. Mick, Keith's saying make it make sense. Can you help us?
Sorry guys, I'm struggling to hear you. Give me a wee second, it's quite noisy in here.
Tell you what, we'll come back to Mick in a wee minute then. Keith, a game in keeping with the mental crazy season.
Yeah, well, what did I say? It was a few weeks ago. I said somebody at one point is going to have to diagnose this season as clinically insane. and just when you thought it can't get any madder, we've now got this surreal kind of end of season showpiece, which will see Neil Lennon trying to defeat his mentor in the Scottish Cup final and deny Martin O'Neill a silver lining ending to the season. I mean, and probably what's going to be his last ever game in his oversized tracksuit. It's unreal. And it was, I guess, you know, something going into the weekend, we kind of knew, didn't we? It was just written that it was all going to end like this. Yeah. Incredible stuff.
In years from now, Jacko, it feels like boffins in some kind of university or something. We're going to do a study on this season, isn't it? To try and work out what the hell went on that year. I mean, that game just, that almost summed it up. Yeah. Honest. Somebody has to explain what happened between full time and then 10 minutes into extra time.
It's astonishing stuff. It's astonishing. And by the way, spare a thought for next season. The poor bugger, what chance has he got? I mean, he's just going to be this mad guy's boring big brother or something. You just can't live up to this. Nothing will ever live up to this season.
You'll have Hearts winning the Champions League next season, Keith, so you've got to remember that. Shall we see if Mick can hear us now? Mick? Hold on. Well, maybe there you go.
So I can just about hear you. How we doing?
Yeah, we've just been saying mad game. Celtic have won 6-2, but no one would have bet it was going to finish like that when it went into extra time.
No, well, you just missed me. I had my pants on my head and the pencil up nose again. Yet another bonkers match. Listen, fair play to St Mirren, first of all, when coming back from major setbacks. I mean, the goalkeeping situation, 2 goals down, losing goals at terrible times. Fought their way back and deserved to be level at the end, and then collapsing the next time. That was 4 goals in 6 minutes. Unbelievable way it worked out. I thought for the life of me, when it went 2 each, excuse me, I thought St Mirren looked stronger. But it looked disjointed, tired, crestfallen. I thought it was only going to go one way, and then it completely went the opposite. This kind of blitz period. I don't know where it came from. I don't know where it went. I don't know what happened. But Celtic are in the final. Incredible stuff.
I know that. Sorry, go on, Keith.
Well, I have to say, Mick, I know I've just sent out some jury questions for tomorrow's paper for you and Scott to answer. And one of them, I have to say, James Forrest, I just don't know why he's had so little game time. And I wonder if today was the moment that he gets himself really involved in this running. I can see James Forrest now being a go-to man for Martin O'Neill over the course of the next 5 league games and the Scottish Cup final.
Forrest, he can't do 90 minutes these days. He's a bit like Kelechi Iheanacho and a few others. He's a player that can produce the goods in short bursts. He can't do it 90 minutes. So the same problem you've got with Iheanacho. Do you start James Forrest and he does well from the start, makes an impact, or do you keep him on the bench? If things are going wrong, they can make an impact from there. So it's a conundrum. He can't play 90 minutes. So he's still his most effective attacking player. He just can't produce it for long periods.
You see there in the comments, Ali says Kelechi changed the game. His goals are huge. And if you're watching at home, get involved in the comments. But I would spare a thought as well. Rebel says Dyson, man of the match. I did think Dyson Maida's taking a lot of stick, Mick. I thought he was probably man of the match for Celtic today.
Yeah, I thought he was good. I mean, it's the most Dyson made a goal you'll ever see, isn't it? I mean, it's like I mean, chasing down the goalie. I mean, the goalkeeper, I felt for him, but it was a mistake, wasn't it? He should have been wary of that kind of danger. But yeah, he's busy best. I think Celtic having Ian Atcho on the pitch made some difference, right enough. Having an actual striker who knows where the goal is, can lead the line. I thought Maida is busy and running about, but not clinical enough, doesn't link up well enough. He's a nuisance, but he's not really a football player, do you know what I mean? He's just a kind of, he annoys defences and he causes problems, but you look at somebody like Ian Atcho who reads the game, can link the ball and finish. It's a big difference. It's a pity he can't do 90 minutes either. But yeah, he's a useful player to have, obviously. I'm just not sure he's a striker.
The Scotland are brave as well, guys. Pointing out Engels. I did think Engels had a very good game today as well. I think Celtic's midfield lacks someone that can actually get about and press the opposition.
Well, I think you're overlooking the second half performance. If you're going to highlight Engels or, Celtic get swamped in that second half.
That's very true.
St Mirren went at them from the start of it. I mean, when Tony Ralston puts that one in, Tony Ralston reinvented himself today as a right-sided Roberto Carlos. Somehow that weird thing happened as well. and then Celtic were battered for 45 minutes. And, so I don't know if you can... you might be able to look back and say, there were nice moments, but I thought it was another hugely concerning Celtic drop-off. And you look at it and you think, well, see the fact that they've then went on a goal blitz in extra time, has this been a good day for Celtic in terms of the championship running, or is it a bad one? Because people look at that second half display and probably long spells of the towards the end of the first half as well, but they just don't look anywhere near themselves. So I don't know if this is a big step forward for Celtic or another step back. This is one of these weird situations that we're getting in this weird season.
I agree, Jacko. I mean, the Celtic's performance in the second half, at the end of the 90 minutes, I agree with Mick. I mean, they look gone. I mean, they look dead on their feet. They looked as if they had no leaders in the pitch, and obviously McGregor had gone off. If the game had lasted another 5 minutes at the end of the 90, you'd have fancied St Mirren to go and win it. And as Mick says, for me, I know. Listen, Forrest was brilliant. He does what he does, but for me, Ian Atcho is the key. I said it on here the other night. When he actually started the League Cup final, I thought he was really good, and when he went off, the game changed, and obviously what happened, St Mirren went on and won it. Today, he was made a massive difference. You look at his finishing, when you look at his hold-up play. Look, Mick saying he can't play 90 minutes, that might well be the case. I don't know how they get him fully fit, but I suppose it's the same with Forrest in terms of his legs. But if you look at the players Celtic have got, I agree, Maida has to play on the left rather than through the middle. If Celtic can get a front three of Maida on the left, Ian Atcho through the middle, James Forrest on the right, that's their best chance in this title running. It's just whether they can get the three of them in the pitch together and whether they can get through games, whether they're fit enough.
A lot of the boys in the comments as well, Marzuno, one of them pointing out that when Callum McGregor went off, Mick, it was a shambles, that 20 minutes. That was when they got overrun. I feel it as well, guys. We need to, I know it's a lot with Celtic getting to the final, but St Mirren, massive effort for them. A lot of people asking us to give a shout out to Grant. Tamosojevic, the goalkeeper, Mick, 17 years old, didn't expect to come on. I mean, I think he would have been delighted right up to the start of extra time how his day had gone.
Oh, definitely. Is that young Mick Gann, wasn't he? That's from that beach as well, man. You at 17.
An extra time.
I was just picking the back of it myself. I thought the kid was terrific. I thought he really was. I mean, I felt for Ryan Mullen. He made that mistake in the first minute. Never looked comfortable. And listen, I'm not putting any doubt on his injury, but he didn't look as though he wanted to be there at that point in time. And the kid's only 17, debut. I mean, I think he passed his driving test in the last few weeks, incredibly. But yeah, I thought he handled it great. He was better on his ball at his feet than Sinisalo as well. A couple of good saves. I thought the kid did really well. He didn't deserve to lose 6 goals, the youngster. It's a shame from him.
Rick, I know what you're saying about Ryan Mullen, and I know this might sound harsh, but first of all, I thought he looked a bag of nerves for the off. And I know he's a backup keeper, but he's got a bit of experience behind him. I've known for the last couple of days he's coming in for Shamal George. And the biggest thing, I've seen this with a few keepers. I've actually seen it with both keepers today. But in terms of Maeda, if keepers never watched Diaz and Maeda playing, I mean, do they not realise? Do they not realise he's going to close them down? I mean, if I'm Ryan Mullen getting into that game, and I know you're getting in at Hampden semi-final, you're taking over for another keeper, I'm thinking early doors, Maeda's playing up front on his own, he's playing through the middle. I am not going to dwell on the ball. I need to get rid of it quick. For him to get caught like that 58 seconds in, I think it's really poor. Honestly, I know that might sound harsh, but really poor. And he set St Mirren back. Obviously, listen, they obviously get back in the game and gave themselves a chance, but it put them in the back foot. He then goes off. They need to put the kid on, who, as you say, did brilliant for a 17-year-old coming on, but for them to be left in that position, behind and having to play a 17-year-old after the start Mullen made, I think he'll look back on it with a lot of regret.
I tell you what,
I agree with you, Scotty. I agree, but no, I can't understand, right? And by the rest of both teams are trying to play it for the back. Both keepers are getting themselves a mess with both their feet, right? I don't understand this, because to play that way is risk and reward, right? And the risk is that you pass the ball out to the back and you play through the thirds, and you go man for man, you beat your man, you take a pass and you build your way through the thirds. Even if it works, they have to get the players in the park on either team that can pass the ball through the thirds. So you're taking that risk at the back. For where's the reward? Because what happens in Scotland, a lot of these teams is they pass the ball out to someone at the back, they pass it amongst themselves, and then somebody else hoofs it up the park. So what is the point of putting yourself under pressure like that?
What was Sinisalo doing?
I cannot understand that.
I
When Ryan Mullen was standing looking for a pass, you're like, you got guys that made that breathing down your neck. I mean, what is the point? What is the point? St Mirren, who played that way for years, and by the way, when they played long today, they caused Celtic problems.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. See, in terms of St Mirren, I get that Craig McLeish is trying to change the way they play and he's trying to get them to play out more, right? That's fine. That's a manager's prerogative, and he will argue long term it's going to work for St Mirren. They'll become a better team. But see if I'm Mikel Mandron or Jonah Ayunga, who is getting so much joy or had so much joy out of Celtic's defence in previous games, you're playing two monsters up front whose strengths are their physicality, their running power, running in behind, causing havoc. They two must have been standing up there at times saying, any chance of getting the ball with it, instead of keepers and centre-backs dallying on the ball. Listen, if St Mirren want to change, that's fine. And over the course of time, they're obviously trying to evolve and develop a playing style. But if that's the way you're going to go, you'd be better changing your strikers, because that doesn't suit. That's not going to suit anything.
No, I mean, I just thought yesterday's semi-final, there was so many mistakes made. I thought it was, errors of judgment, bad decision making, and you thought, well, that can't be possibly repeated today. And then along comes Mullen and says, "Hold my beer." And also, Sinisalo, I couldn't understand what he was thinking, especially after seeing something like that happen down the other end of the pitch. What was he thinking? There's no way Martin O'Neill has asked him to play like that.
Aye. This is what I couldn't fathom either, because Celtic at this point in time haven't got the players that can build through those phases. They don't. So even if that pass out works, it's then getting lumped up the park by somebody else, whether it's Trusty or it's Ralston, or Kieran Tiernan's guilty of it today as well. So it's like, why are you taking that chance of a goalkeeper having to look up, scan the place to make a pass, and then getting caught out? I mean, it's just like, if you're Man City and you have to get a ball out to a wing back or whatever, even in midfield, that's fine, because they get players who can touch it, pull it in, spin a man and make a pass. There's nobody out there that's doing that for Celtic or for St Mirren. So I mean, they're just asking for trouble.
So many teams are guilty of it. I said it last week watching Rangers at Falkirk. First 20 minutes, Rangers are playing 5-yard passes on their 6-yard line with the goalkeeper and the two centre backs. Right. Rangers aren't good enough. The whole idea of that is to bring teams onto you, and then you play through the press, and you go and play. Rangers aren't good enough. Don't have the players good enough to do that. They might have in time, but no now. Rangers get joy at Falkirk. Eventually, when they decided, no, sack that, we need to play direct. We need to go direct. get behind Falkirk, get them turning. That's what got them the win last week. So many teams, I understand why they're trying to do it and they're trying to develop a style. But as you say, if you don't have the players for it, you're just going to cause yourself problems.
And listen, Celtic have done it for years, right? And it's worked for them because in previous years, McGregor will take the ball off a defender in deep. He'll spin, he'll pick a pass out wide to somebody else, then move up the lines. But he's passed the ball into Maida and Yang, and the two of them aren't good enough on the ball. So they're losing it, and then all of a sudden he's wrong side and having to get, and it's causing the whole thing to break down. Listen, you could do a whole big tactical analysis on why Celtic can't do this anymore. It's down to players. They haven't got players that can keep the ball well enough because Celtic are so wasteful in possession, and it's going to hurt them in the running. I mean, they've gotten through today eventually, but it's going to keep hurting them in the running. Every game's a knife edge because they cannot control games. And this again, another game today, apart from that six-minute blitz, could not control the game at any point in time. Even the first half, never controlled the game fully. No. Because they're not guys that are good enough on the ball anymore to do that. And that also means that it starts at the back. Because the ball comes in the middle of the park, it's not. Negan's another one, can't take it in short, hold it in. He loses it too often. It's the nature of the game. It means every single game they're in is on a knife edge. It doesn't have to make it exciting right enough, but it's I feel for Martin Neal, standing in front of us on the TV. He looks like a haunted man. I can understand why.
Well, before we let you go and get on with your post-match duties, Mick, I mean, look, we know Celtic are going to be favourites for the final against Dunfermline, but look, this season anything's possible.
Who knows? Neil Lennon against O'Neill in the final. I mean, absolutely incredible, isn't it? I mean, you think Dunfermline will probably go deep into the playoffs, and it's going to be a hard shift for them, I think, doing both. And you look at the gap in quality as well, but it's an exciting story. And I mean, it's going this season. Last night, Celtic don't dominate games like you'd expect. So Dunfermline will get chances. It just depends on what their squad looks like at that point in time, how their legs are at that point in time. So if they're deep in the playoffs, it's going to be really hard for them. But it's a hell of a story. O'Neill versus Lennon. O'Neill's last game potentially in charge. But the way it's gone this year, no script is going to plan at any point in time. So you wouldn't bet against anything happening. But you think Celtic should be strong enough to see it out. But who knows?
Who knows indeed. Mick, thank you so much for joining us on Hotline Live as ever. We'll let you get on with your post-match duties and safe travels up the road when the time comes.
Right, chaps, catch you later on. Yet another Sunday dinner ruined, and it's happening all the time. Next time, penalties, all that stuff. It's every morning time. I'm a jinx. See you later.
We're actually on that comment from Mick. They were actually getting stick from a lot of people for saying we were going to be on at 4, Keith. Only for us to let everyone down, and apologies, but if we'd come on at 4, would have been watching. That's the general idea.
Well, I don't think there was much point in coming on at 4 o'clock when the game was
exactly
unfolding the way it was unfolding. Dan, yeah, look, do you know, incredible weekend, and now here we are. Martin O'Neill's last Scottish Cup final appearance was 21 years ago. Celtic won 1-0 against Dundee United. Neil Lennon was captain, and now here they are.
That's crazy.
It really is. I mean, what you're just going to see Martin O'Neill's DeLorean scorching up Victoria Road a couple of hours before kick-off. The time traveller arrives and he's up against the guy that, you know, was the linchpin of his Celtic revolution back at the turn of the century. I think Scottish football has been licking poisonous toads or something like that this season, because this is psychedelic stuff. This is just mental.
Keith, you told me a brilliant stat earlier on this season, and I think it's right, but there's only 2 managers that have won trophies for Celtic: Hibs and Dunfermline. I think what say. And one of them's Jock Stein.
Yeah.
One of them's Neil Lennon. If he wins the course on the last day of the season.
Potentially, Neil Lennon.
I mean, that'd be pretty remarkable.
And just why not? Why not make that happen as well? Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know. I know you're tight for time, Dan. So just let us know if I know you've got a very important appointment. Right, okay. Do you want to stick on with us for 5 minutes while we talk about
I can hang on for 5 minutes. Why not?
Right, okay. So we talked about yesterday as well. Scott, what was your verdict? I thought, I mean, seriously, the amount of turd polishing that was going on, with people trying to say, oh, this is a good game and it's dead good, you know, it's quite even. Yeah, it was even. It was evenly bad. It was absolute rubbish, I thought, until the second half of extra time when it really came alive and became dramatic. But talk about mistakes being made and bad decisions on the pitch. I thought it was a shocker. I couldn't believe how bad Falkirk were.
It was, and to be fair, John McGlynn said that, didn't he, post match, and I think he kind of summed it up. That, listen, the standard of the game didn't really matter for Neil Lennon and Dunfermline for me, because they're the championship side. No, their job was to stick in there, make sure they're still in the game late on, and by hook or by crook, try to get it won, and that's exactly what they did. The onus was on Falkirk. That's why John McGlynn was so disappointed. He was bang on. It was a big opportunity missed for them yesterday, right through the game. No, you think the 90, the extra time, and even in penalties to go and get it won. And I think they probably just, I think Falkirk, I don't want to say they froze, but you could just tell. No, they didn't play with any kind of the fluency or the kind of quality that we've seen from them this season in the Premiership. I don't know whether it's just going to Hampden, the magnitude of the game, but that's a game that was there for them to go and win, and they failed to do it. And obviously Dunfermline took advantage, and as I say, it was job done for Neil Lennon. The standard of the performance didn't matter. It was just getting to that final. A historic day for him, for the club, for the supporters. And we said it on here the other night, you just, in a one-off game, just never rule out Neil Lennon. Honestly, I think he's a master at setting teams up for one-off occasions to get results. And that's why we're laughing about the final and what an occasion it's going to be. And of course, against a championship team, Celtic should have the quality to get the job done and go and win the cup. But honestly, I mean, who knows Martin O'Neill's tactics? And nobody better in the game knows about what Martin O'Neill's going to tell those Celtic players or what he might have up his sleeve. Neil Lennon has been there and seen it all with Martin O'Neill, so he'll think at the back of his mind, no, we've got a chance. He'll know areas where he thinks he can go and hurt that Celtic team. And I know he was obviously in the co-coms the day, and Celtic have eventually went on and won it handsomely with the 6 goals. But Neil Lennon will have seen things the day that will make him think, no, we can cause them a few problems. And as you say, Jack, I mean, this season, you just wouldn't really. I mean, it'll be there for Martin O'Neill, the final game, his last stand, the Celtic manager. But if this season's anything to go by, Neil Lennon will go and ruin it for him, basically.
and become the biggest Celtic pantomime baddie of all time.
Exactly. It's crazy. And by the way, the other thing is, Daniel, getting into the final, who knows what the mentality or the mental state of both of these squads is going to be after a title run-in and the playoffs. No, the Celtic get into it as champions, absolutely flying. If they did, you think they'll go and blow Dunfermline away, surely. Chance to go and win a double. Or do they get it having finished third in the Premiership? No, down in the dumps, feeling sorry for themselves, fans raging again at how the season's finished. That you'd think would give Dunfermline a right good chance. But the flip side of that is, did Dunfermline go into it? No, in a playoff final and looking at promotion or whatever. So there's so many ifs and buts between them. It's hard to know how it's going to go.
And P. McLaughlin, Keith, in the comments raises a good point. I don't think we said this. Neil Lennon's last game for Celtic was the Scottish Cup final against Dunfermline.
That's right.
1-0. Joe Dumby, the lone player, scored the only goal. P. McLaughlin saying it might be Adamu this time round. But there's so many kind of weird parallels.
And if I recall correctly, Gordon Strachan substituted Neil Lennon in the second half of that game. And Neil Lennon, because I went over to Portugal after that to meet with Neil Lennon, do a one-to-one interview when he was on holiday. And he basically was ready to walk out the stadium with Celtic strip on and his boots on. He was so angry about getting subbed off in that second half, but stopped himself and obviously, went out with one other ticker tape celebration, another trophy. But yeah, I mean, there's just so many weird coincidences and subplots and dramas. It's remarkable, and you know what? This has given this particular season the ending that it had to have. No matter how it ends now, if it's Martin O'Neill gets his hands on the trophy, as he says he's long goodbye, if Neil Lennon stops him for doing that, no matter how it ends, it's the perfect ending to this season to end them all. I mean, this is just madness. And you know, the great bit is, with 5 league games still to go, we don't know how it all ends. We don't have a clue how this goes from here until the last kick of the ball at Hampden on May the 23rd? May the 23rd, 21 years and 1 day after Helicopter Sunday, by the way.
It's crazy. And sorry, I know it's me that's tight for time, but just very briefly, see, just in Falkirk, I thought John McGlynn yesterday was beyond raging. I thought he actually looked kind of betrayed by his team. See, after it, he looked shell-shocked, and he was like, I don't recognise that performance. And I think a lot of fans were the same. I mean, I was watching it, I couldn't believe how poorly Falkirk played.
Look, it was emotional after the game, Daniel, so he's probably had a wee bit of time to reflect, and I don't think he would... Listen, he can't be critical of these players given what they've gave him this season in terms of, first year up, top 6, some of the performances and results they've had. You look at where some of these players have come from, and some of them have come through for League One up to the Premiership with them. Others, obviously, like your Barney Stewart, Kieran Adams, have come for non-league football, university football to go and play in the Premiership. So, listen, in the grand scheme of things, in the cold light of day, he's not going to be critical of the players, but there's no doubt he knew, and he'll have told them in no uncertain terms, that was a massive opportunity missed for them. I think he said that after the game. He said it could be years before some of those players get back to Hampden in a semi-final against a championship team, to go and try and get to the final. So, of course, there'll be big regret there. But listen, I think at the end of the season, you look at what Falkirk have done, getting to a semi-final, as I say, top 6, some of the results. They've started a cracking season.
Aye, well, I can't disagree. I just thought I was really taken by that. McKinnon in the comments says, I think Rangers game took the stuffing at the Falkirk players. They were favourites that match, they were indeed. I think, Keith, you might see Falkirk drop off a wee bit in the last few games of the season. A lot of people were saying, they'll take points off teams, Rangers there in the last day of the season. I think they're struggling a bit mentally now, Falkirk. But
I think the events of the last week will have certainly knocked the wind out of their sails, that's for sure. It's about how they now regroup and what it is that they're striving to achieve between now and the end of the season, what targets John McGlynn sets for them. But these have been a bruising week for them, that's for sure.
Well, look, guys, I think that brings to the end of tonight's Hotline Live, slightly truncated Hotline Live on Sunday night, brought to you by NordVPN. We will be back tomorrow at 6 p.m, though, and I promise it'll be jam-packed, and we'll all be there for that. Well, me and Keith certainly will. Scott, we'll try and talk you into it throughout the day as usual.
Switch my phone off.
Thing is, he's saying that everyone watching at home, but he's only half joking. Thanks for everyone watching at home. We massively appreciate it. As I say, we'll be back at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Keith, Scott, it's always a massive pleasure.
Thanks, Dan. See you tomorrow, mate.
Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Cheers.